Hi, thanks for joining us again, fellow subscribers. If you're joining us the first time, we appreciate your time. Please click the subscribe button, share our videos to your network so we can grow this platform. For our loyal subscribers, we always appreciate your time and thanks for having you on board. Today, we are going to focus on completely with the admissions process in the Netherlands. I hope you enjoyed our previous video that we did a little montage about studying in the Netherlands or Holland, if you want to call it that way. So today we're going to focus. What are we covering today? We are going to cover the whole entire admissions process, the required documents, and what you need to know in terms of the processes for you to apply to study in Holland, or you can call it the Netherlands. We are looking forward to having a very interesting conversation with you. Hopefully you will enjoy these episodes of ours. Thanks again for watching. We're looking forward to meeting you soon. Ciao. Welcome back, our fellow viewers, and thanks again for staying with us. We just want to focus on the next step on this our very important presentation concerning admissions to universities at bachelor's or master's level in the Netherlands. Now, we just want to look at also in the admissions requirement to study in Holland, there are a few things you want to cover, right? First of all, you want to check on the registration and the particular start date that's important for you. I don't know when you want to travel to study here. Also, you can see that the start dates are in January or in September of each year. But you may choose which of them you want to go in for. In that case, you want to make sure that you start submitting your application earlier. Also, it's important to figure out if your requirement process is coming from, or you're a student from EU or from an international in this case, you're looking at out of the European Union, or people who are out from Switzerland and other countries. So if you're coming from the whole of, let's say, in the African continent or in Asia or other parts of the world from the United States, you're considered as international. This is so important for you to know. And also the registration procedure. There is something called the student link in Holland, which you have to complete your application. This is so important. The student link is something like a student database, which is most of the time compulsory for all students to fill while they plan to study in Holland. Another thing you should be aware of, that it's so important for you to submit your application on time and the required documents. You're going to see that in our next step. Also, it's of importance for you to understand that to transfer your tuition fee, it's of importance because without a transfer of tuition fee in Holland, it's going to be difficult for you to apply for your visa. It's so important for you to know that. Another very important thing before you move on to it's going to be about to apply for your MVV. It's a temporary visa that the Dutch government applies for you, and not the government, of course. I mean, the university would apply for you. You may go to the nearest embassy of the Netherlands in your own country, wherever that may be, or the representative for you to pick your visa. It's important for you to figure that out. These are the things you need to know. And finally, picking up your visa, making sure that you get yourself ready before you travel to Holland. It's important. Once you have all of this information, then you can move to the next stage, which is what you're going to be looking in a moment. Thanks for watching again. Now, welcome back. Talking about the required documentation for the admissions process is so important. Now, we just want to make sure that we fall onto the categories that are important for you, and that's why we have listed them so you make sure that you can make the informed decision, you the viewers. Now, you want to talk about the university degree if you're going for a master's or bachelor's. For master's, you need a bachelor's degree. For a bachelor's degree, you may need a high school certificate, a GCSE, or a baccalaureate, or whatever equivalents might be in your own country. That's important for you to know before you start submitting your application. The next thing you need to know also is that you need to use the International English Language Testing System, which is called the IELTS, or a test of English as a foreign language, which is called a TOEFL in other ways. So, however, if you come from an English-speaking country or you studied previously with English, then you might be having some exemptions in that case. So it's important for you to know. Check that all, then you can make that decision. Also, you want to check if you have a valid passport or a valid ID card for your application process. Another thing you want to know is you need to submit 2 reference letters. And the reference letters could be one to come from your referee, which is a professional part, or an academic person. Could be from your university, a previous lecturer. That's up to you to make that choice. Also, your birth certificate is important. In Holland, that is very important. If you want to travel, maybe bringing your family in the future, you may need a birth certificate because you may be needing that in the future to legalize. It's a process. We're going to go into that in a moment. And finally, the legalization process is something that may be cumbersome for some people. However, you can go to your Ministry of Foreign Affairs in your own home country, and they may legalize your documents for you before you'll be able to travel to Holland. However, countries are different, and they may have different procedures. So you want to check that out, right? So make sure you look at that. It's so important. Very straightforward, easy. We want to make sure you check on those requirements, and we're going to join you soon in the next page of this particular admissions process today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching and staying with this very important episode about the admissions process in the Netherlands. And the final thing we're going to talk about here is the extra documentation that may be needed for you to be successful in making sure that you find Holland to be your next admissions country where you should be studying at a university. Now, the last thing we're going to look at here is for those people who come into the Netherlands who are married or who are in some form of a relationship, you may be required to submit a marriage certificate in the process. Hopefully that your husband or your wife may join you or your case in the future. There is a procedure for that. So the legalized marriage certificate is important for you to have it while you are planning to study in the Netherlands. Another thing you should be aware of also is that you should be able to have an affidavit. If you've changed your name in the process, if you have a different document, or let's say for example you got married and you have a change of name, you may need something that will be like an affidavit to attest that you were Mrs. this prior to that and now you are Mrs. this in the future. So that's how it's going to work. You want to have that in particular document with you because it's going to help you. Another very important thing for you to consider also, your previous qualifications may help you, of course, because if you have qualifications that fall in similarities to what you've done before, it's also important for you, may support your process. Again, in terms of the language, if your documents are not in the language which your university teaches its program, let's say in English, for example, and then you may need to translate your documents so you can bring them at the embassy or bring them when you're coming to the Netherlands. So this is something very important for you to consider. We've listed those in our presentation for you. We want to make sure that you take note of that. Hopefully this information is vital and it's going to help you to make an informed decision. If this is going to be inspiring you, please, we advise you to subscribe, share our videos to your network. Looking forward to answering your questions, and we're just going to go straight to our last part. Welcome back. We're talking about money matters here. Money matters is so important. Counting the cost. Without this, we're not going to do anything, right? It's so important. Number one, finance is so important. You want to consider your tuition fee. In Holland, most of the time you may be required to transfer your fees to the university and pay some lump sum forward so they may be able to apply for your application to get you the visa and make some deposit in your own account and stuff like that. You want to find that out. Another thing you should know is the study materials library information, basic fees that are involved in this particular part. So it's so important for you to know that these are extra costs that may be coming in, because when we talk about money matters and cost here, we're talking about the cost that you, the students, are going to be incurring during your trip in Holland or while you are in Holland already. Another thing is, here in Holland, you may be looking at also focusing on the visa cost, the procedure, the residence permit. You'll be the one responsible to pay that, and it's going to cost you something. I think you can take care of that as well, but that's a very important cost you may be factoring into your own journey in the future. Something also, the living condition is good, of course, the housing, and you want to check about the public transportation system, which is going to add to your own bills, and also your personal lifestyle and the internet usage as well will be something that you want to consider. It's so important for you to know this. Also, in terms of source of funding, you may be able to qualify for a scholarship, and also in terms of the scholarship, you're looking at foreign scholarship or your scholarship in your own country. This is very important for you to consider that while you're making that application. And finally, you may have your own savings, which is important. It's going to help you to also factor into your cost while traveling to study in Holland. These are some of the things you're going to be making sure you take care of. So we have it in our chat. You can take a look at that. So let's continue with the last phase of the whole admissions process. Okay, there you go. Let's say you've done everything we've just mentioned. You have all of your documentation sorted out, made your deposits, your admission letter is out, go to the embassy, pick it up, made your deposit payments, got your visa. You shall be arriving the Netherlands, the Schiphol airport, which you see in one of the presentation there. You welcome back to the country. This is the whole basic process for you. From inquiry, we'll let you know the documentation, the required papers that you need to submit, the extra information that's needed for you if you're a couple or if you're an individual who's having a fiance or whatever that happens in your own case. It's up to you. So we advise you to make sure that before you start packing your bags to the Netherlands, you want to make sure that you have all of these sorted out, and we are looking forward to, we wish you good luck, of course, in your future studies. If you're planning to come to the Netherlands on 2021, and again, you are armed with the information. Hopefully, after watching this video, you've learned something, and if you feel this information has inspired you and you're ready to make an application, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel, share it to your network, and we are looking forward to providing you with more information. If you think there is something that we missed in this particular video that you think that we would have added it to make sure that it becomes more informative, then we would like to hear from you. Otherwise, we would like to answer your questions. Thanks again. We're happy to have you. We also would advise you to watch some of our videos. We talked about time management. On this channel, we are looking at online education, which is something for the future. That's the study for the future. And also we are holding the campus part. We are merging both and we are moving forward. So we deal with campus videos. We deal with also online issues as well. Now, if you are a young professional, someone who already have a job, just finished school and having the first job or the second job, we want to make sure that if you're planning to study further, watch some of our videos. If you are a completely new professional who just graduated from school, we encourage you to watch our channel. If you are a seasoned expert with years of experience, we want to welcome you to keep watching our videos and come to us with any questions to make sure that we can help you to make an informed decision. Thanks for watching. We're looking forward to meeting you soon, and have a good day, and bye for now.